All right, welcome to Speak for Yourself. I'm the very ungracious Jason Whitlock.
Yeah.
That's the very gracious Marcellus Wiley. That dude.
My brand.
All right, coming up, we'll tell you if the media is being unfair to Nick Bosa, but we begin in the NBA. In terms of television satisfaction, it doesn't get any better than Game 5 Thunder's Blazers last night. In fact, watching Damian Lillard vanquish the triple-double king, Russell Westbrook, was the most satisfying bit of television I've watched since Olena Tyrell poisoned King Joffrey 5 years ago in the season 4 of Game of Thrones. Joffrey, born of incest, had no claim to the throne, abused his power, and treated everyone as beneath him. You knew he would be assassinated, but you didn't know when and how. Watching him suffocate in his mother's arms on his wedding day brought tears of joy. I had that same feeling watching Dame Lillard wave goodbye to Westbrook after drilling a 37-foot dagger as the buzzer sounded. My God, there is justice in this world. The good guys do beat the bad guys. Damian Lillard eviscerated the Thunder with 50 points. More than that, during this series, he provided the closing argument that Westbrook's triple-doubles are more gimmick than winning substance. That is the story of this first-round playoff series. This series says more about Westbrook than Lillard. I do not say that to diminish Lillard. He is awesome, on and off the court. He gives back to his community in Oakland. He went back to college to finish his degree. He's committed to the Trailblazers organization and doesn't appear interested in jumping to other teams to chase titles. And he might be the next Steph Curry. But last night was about the villain, Westbrook, who got what karma demanded. Let's don't be prisoners of the moment. Lillard has done this exact same thing before. In 2014, Lillard drilled a 28-footer at the buzzer to win a first-round playoff series against the Houston Rockets.
A 3 wins the series. It's Lillard. He got the shot off. Lillard, good! Good! And the Blazers win the series for the first time in 14 years!
Westbrook's fall is what makes this game winner more significant. Last night, nearly everyone claimed Lillard's game winner over Paul George will be shown for years and years. No, it won't. Not if Lillard fails to elevate himself and the Blazers moving forward. You know why TV networks replay Michael Jordan's 1989 series clinching shot over Craig Elo? Because of what Jordan accomplished in the 1990s. The shot, which has its own Wikipedia page, symbolizes Jordan's launch into immortality. Right now, Lillard's dagger symbolizes Westbrook's fall into laughingstock. Westbrook is King Joffrey. People celebrated his assassination. Yusuf Nurkic, the Blazers' injured center, wore a T-shirt inside the Portland locker room that trolled the now-dead triple-double king. Westbrook is Russell's nickname across the league, and his slogan is, "Next question." The response he gives local columnist Barry Trammell, who dares to question him. At the moment, the villain is more memorable than the hero. This morning, I had to look up who killed King Joffrey in Game of Thrones. I couldn't remember. I thought it was Tyrion Lannister. But I clearly remember Joffrey's ashen face, the blood running out of his nose, and the look of horror on his mother's face. Westbrook's bricks, surly attitude, fan confrontations, and chaotic style of play overshadow Lillard's first-round playoff heroics. All right, joining the desk now, Fox Sports NBA analyst Iceberg Jim Jackson, Slick Rick Bucher of Bleacher Report. Marcellus, I'll start with you.
Yes,
Last
sir.
night, say more about Dame Lillard or Russell Westbrook?
Oh, a lot more about Dame Lillard, a lot more about Dame Dollar. If you think about what this moment meant to him in terms of importance, him wanting to be in that special club, more importantly, that special table within that club. And we know who used to sit at that table. It's Steph Curry, it's James Harden, it's Westbrook. And it's OG CP3, just like, look, I got curfew. Y'all better hurry up. And I ain't paying the tab, right?
Right.
And then you see Dame Lillard just always circling, always there, always around it. Like, I could chip in on this. I belong there. Last night gave us a moment, gave us a symbol, gave us an event that says, you know what? Access granted. Lift the ropes up. Dame Dollar's now at that table with the elite ones.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm glad you mentioned the fact that he long wanted to be in that circle and wasn't accepted. Mm-hmm. And there was a long time where that bothered Damian, and Damian made it known. I'm as good as you guys. How come I'm not getting that respect? And you saw it in the 2014 when he hit that shot, popping his jersey. It's all about this. And the distinction that you saw in 2019 was, got that done, on to the next one. Yep. Totally different approach. And that's the part that Russell Westbrook needs to learn. I can't separate the two. What last night demonstrated was that Damian Lillard is a better point guard than Russ Westbrook right now.
So it's musical chairs to Marcellus's point, and to me, I'm saying we're focused on the bigger story is like Russ lost his chair more than Dame got his.
Can they be in the same? Like,
no, they
how
not.
big is this section? They ain't broke.
It's musical chairs. There's only so many chairs.
I don't know.
I wouldn't say – I say it says a lot about Damian. I think within the circles of basketball, I don't think people looked at this OKC team as a legit threat to win a title. Right. I don't really – because I don't think they're –
But a legit threat to beat Portland.
No, win a title. I'm just – let me
lay them bricks.
I didn't think that what I saw with this OKC team is too many holes, too many gaps. I thought Portland was the better team from the beginning, okay?
Without their borderline all-star center.
Who? Yeah, because of the matchups. Because Steven Adams can't guard the pick and roll. Against a Portland team when you don't have a pick and pop 4 guy, it's tough. It's different. I didn't think the matchup boded well for OKC, for me, looking at it from the outside.
4-1. You saw 4-1.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't see 4-1.
So,
but I thought Portland
Steven Adams and his Cantor going in. Who do you think was going to win that?
Here's the difference. Enes Kanter don't have to worry about pick and pop in regards to playing the point guard that's going to come off. What they did with Russell Westbrook and also Schroeder was went under the pick.
No, I get that. I get the strategy. I'm just saying in terms of matchups, C.J. McCollum played Paul George basically even as far as their production.
Right.
Enes Kanter outplayed Steven Adams. So Damian Lillard wasn't the only one who won his matchup, and those were matchups going in that I wouldn't have necessarily said Steven Adams is going to get outplayed by Enes Kanter in terms of his contribution.
I don't want to talk about Steven Adams and Kanter. I want to talk about Russell Westbrook and Damian Lillard. Jim, the conversation among NBA players today, what do you think it's about?
It's all about Dame.
Thank you.
It's all about Dame.
No doubt.
Really, when you're talking about players, they're talking about what Dame did last night. They ain't talking about what Westbrook
Why is
did.
Nurkic wearing a T-shirt trolling?
Well, no, he's trolling them. But
you don't think that's a conversation?
Hold up. But that's a conversation probably within the Portland locker room. You said guys in the NBA.
Across the NBA.
You know what?
Hold wait.
You only troll up, bro. You don't troll down. You don't punch down. You know what? You trolling me, that means I'm already up there.
The guys I talked to, it was all about Dame. It wasn't about Russell. It was all about Dame, what he did. That's what guys I talked to are about.
Fact of the matter is, the way Russell played last night, if he had played that way the entire series, we'd still be watching.
Mm-hmm.
We'd still have the series going. I don't care what this.
35%.
He had 14 assists as well.
End of the game, he was terrible.
And so was Paul. And so was Paul George.
One of them's getting paid $200 million and is the face of the franchise.
Both of them are superstars, and one of them was also an MVP candidate this year.
No, one of them has an MVP, has a $200 million contract, ran off Kevin Durant, has lost 3 straight times in the first round of the playoffs.
So this is the double jeopardy that Russ Westbrook is constantly in. We ask him to make room for other players. We ask him to utilize the talent around him. He did that this year with Paul George.
Not last night. He didn't do it enough. I listened to Kevin McHale all night say, hey, don't forget about Paul George. He's carried you. Get the ball back to Paul George. And you know what? The one time they did, they gave it to him, to me, in not the best. He's more of a catch-and-shoot guy than give it to him at the top of the key and let him create. And he had a turnover. When they passed him the ball, he switched another jumper. The guy shot 14 and 19. Russell Westbrook down the stretch reverted.
You're making the point that it's all about Dame Dollar because we're going to judge them both on the distance traveled. You're saying Westbrook, here he goes again. This is Westbrook. This is who he is. He needed to change. That dip, whatever that disparity is minimum compared to what Dame Dollar's road is. Let's talk about that ascension.
Elevation is greater than the falls.
Oh, hell yeah. Look at this. 2016 when Dame Dollar's on record, man, I should be in the All-Star game. And everybody's like, you gonna complain your way into that? And to the point where even Russell Westbrook, without calling him out by name, said, man, Paul George can't make the All-Star game. Meanwhile, other guys can complain themselves onto the roster. Then you go to when last year we saw this team, and Dame Dollar was an all-NBA first-team player. And they got swept out of the playoffs in the first rounds by the sorry Pelicans. And then now you get to this moment when, okay, some people are trolling Westbrook. And you can say it's all Westbrook looks bad. Westbrook dropped or stayed who Westbrook is. But Dame climbed to a whole nother level. That's why it's about Dame.
Took the shine off the triple-double, but we'll move on. We'll move on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this so memorable game, and it was a great game. I loved it. It was awesome. I loved the 2014 game. But will we remember it if this dude never wins a title? Because I'm telling you, most people forgot about 2014 until last night.
Yeah, it's tough because he's not in that elite category in regards to memorable moments that people will continue to play because he hasn't won. So I agree with you from that perspective. Now, in Portland land, it's always going to be replayed. It will always be a part of his legend there. But from a national perspective, it's a part of the narrative of what happened this year in the playoffs. So I don't think it carries as much weight as we look at it 5 or 10 years from now. If he doesn't, I'm not going to say win a championship. If he doesn't really compete for one, I think it may get lost. The shine may be taken off a little bit nationally.
If they don't win the next round, it's going to be forgotten by June. I mean, it's going to be a great moment in Portland Trail Blazers history. From a national perspective, the 2014 was already by the boards. So the idea that this is going to stand out, no. And I don't know if it's winning a championship necessarily, but they need to go beyond this. I mean, people are now immediately putting Damian Lillard among the top 10 players in the league. Yeah. Can we slow down just a little bit? Like we're going to immediately jump because he took what Paul George correctly called, it's a bad shot. 37 feet with that time on the clock, it's a bad shot. It's a shot that he makes, but if he misses that, this is an entirely different conversation that we're having.
You guys are wrong. And I'm going to tell you, the criteria has moved in terms of what we're going to always respect and what could elevate you to superstar status. Odell Beckham, excuse the football player in me, but Odell Beckham was putting up numbers, and there are other receivers close, comparable.
Hell of a point.
Who did he make this catch on? The Dallas Cowboys. Who did Dame shoot that on? OKC, Russell Westbrook, Paul George. Oh, so that matters. On top, this was a losing game. They lost the game.
Wait.
Guess what? It took Odell from, okay, you damn good, to, and forevermore, we're going to always, that's the most.
It's a hell of a point. Odell's done some other things.
It's a great,
and also some things that hurt.
It's a great point. But that catch was elevated because they were playing who?
The Cowboys.
So you saying because they play OKC?
No, I'm saying who was it on?
But that's my point.
That's on the Cowboys. That's on Westbrook.
That ain't the same kind of shine. Ain't the kind of shine.
No. But
if that was on Golden State, it's different. But OKC, no.
Here's where.
No.
You're not going to remember Dame Dollar hit that shot.
I will because I'm a basketball guy.
Let's get outside our world.
But outside of that, no.
You with him?
No.
Well, of course you're going to
No. Against the Cowboys, definitely. Because it's the Cowboys.
I'm going to tell you why I think there's some relevancy to what he's saying. We're more into this social media replay world, meme world, and what will live on, I think, more than the shot is the waving by. You're going to see that over social media.
Oh, that's going to be a meme. That's going to be a meme. That's going to be a meme.
Or that picture of him when he is
like this, when he's looking like this.
And everybody else is going chaos.
Yeah.
That helps your point. And
thank you, y'all. It will sustain the moment. But in terms of people in basketball and how they honor it, no. Social media and from an image standpoint, yes, it will last.
Let me ask you this. Can the Blazers build a title contender around Damian Lillard?
Words are important.
You better.
Title contender. Can they win a championship if everything fell right? If they stayed healthy, there were some other injuries, there's a needle, eye of the needle that they can go through to win a championship. But title contender to me means you are a perennial.
Consistently.
No, you can't. You can't in that market because
disagree,
you
but go
have
ahead.
to spend more money to get people in Portland. It's simply, it can't, it's a function of the market.
I think with the ever-shifting changes of the West, because at some point Golden State is going to regress, but you see other teams stepping up with Denver, kind of being there. San Antonio is going to come back. I don't know if Neil O'Shea has the cachet to be able to go out and get the kind of players that need to be in Portland.
You said S. You said players with an S.
Yeah.
I think they need one.
Who?
You said they only need one?
Yeah, I think they need one.
Oh, stop.
Okay.
They
They
need
need
not
more.
the scoreboard now.
Oh, wait.
Teams are rolling out 5 All-Stars in their starting lineup.
Wait. If it's the right player,
Right.
I agree with that. If you had a play, like my thought was when LeBron wanted to make a move, if LeBron went to the Portland Trailblazers, if he really was winning, about going to the West and winning championships, you add a playmaking small forward to their team, then yes, you are talking about a championship
I'm
caliber
going to give you
team.
the guy because I don't. You can't get LeBron, and I agree with. They only got so much money. It's Portland.
Right.
You got to find a unicorn, and the unicorn for Portland may be. And you're going to laugh when you think here at
Marty
first.
laugh.
Freak.
No. Again, he's too expensive. He's in his prime. You got to find somebody just off their prime who's got 3 or 4 years left to give you. Kevin Love, he's from there. They put Kevin Love
That ain't winning it.
on that. He can shoot, he can stretch the floor, he can rebound.
Can't
They
stay
just
healthy.
need enough.
It's not enough.
He could get hurt, and he will. Here's the thing. History tells us this answer. Superstar free agents, star free agents don't go to smaller, lesser markets. We're living in the second largest market in the NBA, and the Lakers struggle to find free agents. In this market, they got LeBron and who else? In 20 years, the Lakers, who else? And that's the point. No one is going to be attracted. And you can show me the names. You can show me the individuals. You can't.
Why?
No one goes to that market. You have to keep them drafted and keep them happy. That's just the way it goes.
Golden State was, that's San Francisco. It's a different area, but they developed their core.
Yes,
Drafted.
absolutely.
And again, they
absolutely.
developed. And then they added a piece in Kevin Love. They've developed between CJ and
Durant,
Lillard. And now this Nurkic, they have developed some things, and you're telling me they need more than Kevin Love to be a title contender?
Yes, because what Kevin Love gives them isn't the element that they need. They don't need a stretch 4. What they need is somebody who can play make, and you can play CJ and Damian.
You need more
off of them.
playmakers than CJ and Damian.
Yes, because of, and one of the things that they've done, and this is where I said it was a bad shot, but he has developed that shot because last year they got bottled up by big guards. That was their issue. And I thought it might be their issue against Oklahoma City. He's expanded the floor. So now when I can shoot, if I'm shooting from 26 feet, and I put a big guard on you, I can still make you play in a crowd to a certain extent. I can still contest your shot. I can't contest that 37-footer. CJ did the same thing.
Why is that not right out of Golden State's playbook? Who's the great playmaker for Golden State? I mean, now they got Kevin Durant, but before that,
It was Draymond.
It was Draymond Green.
Steph can play make.
And you can
Iguodala
play-
can
and you
play
can play-
make.
Draymond Green.
And you can
Sean Livingston can play make. So they have 4 or
Honestly-
5 guys that
Iguodala.
can make
honestly,
plays.
honestly, if you're looking for, I don't know, he doesn't want to go for a discount, but if you added Draymond Green, whoo, now you have
But
Golden.
you got to get him for a discount because now a lot depends on what's going to happen free agency with Kevin Durant and what they do. They're not going to pay Draymond. I think contender is a great term because you're talking about continuing being there every year. So you still need 1 or 2 pieces in order to absorb that, to do it every year, to be in that contention. One person won't get it, but I do believe 1 or 2, now you're talking a whole different story, but it makes it a tougher ask in Portland to be able to do that.
Please remember this team has lost in the first round the last 2 years, and we don't know how this year is going to play out. The narrative could change that fast, and all of a sudden, this is not even an attractive destination for someone who wants to contend. Be careful now. Look, they're going to get through the next series.
Hold up. I'll tell you what.
Just be careful.
But this year plays out great for Portland because of the path they have to go to. With Houston slipping, now they have to go through either San Antonio or Denver, compared to on the other side of the ball. So they have a great opportunity to get to the conference finals this year based on how the end of the season played
They've
out.
done
And, see,
enough.
and that's
They've
where
done
I
enough
say,
to be
could they win a
attractive.
championship? Yes, if everything falls right and they get the matchups along the way.
Time for a big story. Let's go back to Portland, where Damian Lillard waved bye-bye to the Thunder in their season. It's the third straight year OKC have been eliminated in the first round. The big question is, what will the Thunder do with Russell Westbrook? As you just heard, I feel like a move away from the point guard position would be the smart thing. The TNT guys debated that very topic after Game 5.
I think it's time to move Russ to the 2. Because I think he's too aggressive offensively. He's always driving at 100 miles an hour. He should drive at 55, sometimes raise to 70. You don't drive your car at 100 all the time. And that's the only weakness I see.
All right, Damian Lillard appears to have weighed in on Westbrook as well, posting on Instagram today from the Art of War book. It's the unemotional, reserved, calm, detached warrior who wins, not the hothead seeking vengeance and not the ambitious seeker of fortune. What should the Thunder do with Russell Westbrook, Marcellus?
Damn. I'm out the game. You got so many ways to attack, dude. You go home to get some rest, and that's when they attack you the most. Woo! Damn, dollar. Seriously, everyone's throwing out there so many different scenarios. Switch his position, get a coach he respects. I would say simply this. Get Russell Westbrook a shooting coach that could expand the floor, as we talked about earlier, and also
Shooting coach or
shooting coach. Shooting coach. Like, we're going to expand you. You're not going to be anymore just fire in a hole, which is stand there at the top of the key and just attack the basket and hope for it. We're going to expand the floor for you, which is going to set up that move, which is your go-to. But also, we're going to do something in terms of your speed and movement. We're going to get you a third gear, a fourth gear. We're going to not let you go 0 to 100 real quick every time. I tell you why this works. The greatest college football player I probably saw with my own eyes was Reggie Bush. And I remember talking to Reggie privately and talking about him as an analyst, saying, you're not converting to the NFL for one reason. You don't have your setup speed. Everything you did was meow. And I said, Reggie, if a linebacker sees you coming and never has the fear of you going to run him over, he's going to always pick a side, pick the angle, and get you. When you start setting that up, and he started finally in New Orleans, started setting you up, all of a sudden, it's easier to run around people. Westbrook needs to expand the floor, which was set up as an attack game, and also give him what you saw from Dame Dollar. More range. You need it in today's NBA.
I think he needs a sports psychologist more than he needs a shooting coach.
Yeah.
The form of his shot, in and of itself, I really don't have a problem with. The problem I have is that he's constantly changing it, and he's changing it depending on how he feels within the game. There's times where he shoots angry. There's times where he shoots where he's trying to prove a point. There's times where he shoots and he thinks he's going to win the game on that one shot. The flow and the composure that he had in last night's game, if he maintained that throughout the year and the team got comfortable with him playing that way and utilizing everybody, they would be in a different place, and he would be in a different place. You can't just suddenly in a Game 5 elimination decide, you know what, I'm going to put all of the emotion and the mano-a-mano aside and I'm going to play this way. You need to practice that throughout the year. Taking him off the ball. Look, he's moved off the ball. He gave the ball to Paul George. He allowed Dennis Schroeder to play a bigger role. He's done that. It's a matter of
Needs to do more of
his poise. Okay, well, that's fine. But he's demonstrated that he's willing to change. And much like he learned that he needed to diversify as a result of getting knocked out last year, I believe that this, and we saw it on the podium afterward, that was a humble Russell Westbrook.
Oh, it
that was a
was?
Russell. Yes,
you're right.
was.
Humble Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
But on the scale of reality, you're right. He was not humble. But in comparison to old,
Is that what you
What? No, that's not what I said.
What the hell are you doing?
But
humble
I'll take it a step further. A guy like Russell, because the mentality he has is one as a GM, a coach, I would love to have in regards to a player. I love to have somebody I have to rein back in.
Absolutely.
Rather than having somebody I have to try to get up for.
Andrew Wiggins.
Don't know what I'm going to get every game.
Yeah.
The mental side to me has always been the key to elevating your game. I don't care in what sport, what business, okay? And You have to be able to have somebody that you can talk to that can show you ways to utilize your best skill set.
Oh, like Mo Cheeks?
No, Mo Cheeks is
Mo Cheeks.
no.
Not an
See,
assistant coach.
why you keep going back to Mo Cheeks? No.
You gotta listen to somebody.
No, wait. Evident again. I love Russell, but I do think he needs the guidance to understand how to utilize all the assets he has. Yeah. Okay, when to use it, when to pull it back. And it's not as easy as people say, well, you should just figure it out. Some people can't do that because they can't get out of their own way. We talked about this before. You need somebody that can get to him consistently, that he can talk to, this, that he believes
Make
in.
his wife an assistant coach. Is that the solution?
Man, that ain't.
Wow.
Stop playing. Man, stop playing with
Mom's
that.
over.
That don't have nothing.
Where you coming
You
from?
gotta, now, in some relationships, that does work.
Yeah.
In some relationships, that could be somebody you can lean on because you know where it's the essence of where it's coming from.
I understand. The man's 10, 11 years into the league. He's 30 years old. There are people, it's like.
So he can't change. That's what you're saying.
You know what's
You're saying
crazy?
that he cannot, if he had the right, he cannot. Now, change incrementally is what he needs. He doesn't need this full makeover. He just needs to change in some areas.
here he does.
But that's just some
Yeah.
areas.
Y'all thinking too deep about this.
No, it's not.
No, let's be real. Kobe, Magic, MJ, all
Champions.
All-time
great.
Well, first of all, after 7 years, MJ wasn't. But, it took him a while. He got there, and they all evolved their game even in their latter years. We saw the post game. We saw the range increase. We saw them even try to go back to the three. We saw the baby hook. Like, you saw stuff you didn't see day one. You saw latter stage of their careers. All with great form, but they all of a sudden said, let's expand this game because we have to look forward to how this game is changing. The game has changed from Russell Westbrook. The game as a point guard used to be, back in the days, pass first. Then it turned into score first. And Westbrook was like, yes, Iverson and Westbrook, all these guys loved it. Now it's shoot first. Lillard is learning from Curry. These dudes are on the logo shooting. And you don't trust that from Westbrook. I'm telling you, we can overthink it. We can say it's his family dynamic, his coach dynamic. If the dude just made the floor bigger for himself, he would have more opportunities to do what he does already.
Real quick. The difference, though, is that with AI, he didn't listen to Johnny Davis, kept him on the ball. Larry Brown came in and moved him off, had Eric Snow. So he was able to do. Oh, wait, no. But in clutch, this is my point. In clutch situations, AI had the ball. But it was Larry Brown that made that change. Also, philosophically, spoke to him. With Michael and Kobe, it was Phil Jackson that philosophically were able to help
Different
him
leadership.
do that. So it's different leadership.
I agree that.
They also, in each case, those guys had to learn for themselves that doing it my way does not work. And now that Russell has gone through every iteration, it didn't work with KD, it didn't work when he was on his own, hasn't worked with Paul George and Dennis Schroeder. What's the common denominator? It's me. Now, he does need a Phil Jackson. He needs somebody who's going to show him the roadmap. This is the missing piece. But you saw it. Look, Michael Jordan had to be convinced. You have to play this way if you want the ring.
You got to be open.
Michael wasn't open at the
Why do we
beginning.
think he's not open?
Michael was not open at the beginning.
Kobe was not
Kobe
open
was
to
not
it
open
at the
to it.
Michael was
beginning.
called selfish for 7 years as a player, and then
Not 11.
oh, look, I give you that. But he also wasn't in this situation either. He wasn't in this situation either, and he has deferred. This year was a deferring year for Westbrook.
Look,
all intents and purposes.
Look, Marcellus, you're a track guy.
Love it.
And didn't you end up being a 400 guy?
National champion. Put some
400,
respect on my
400.
name. 400. Yes, sir.
Because
did that.
you didn't fit the profile to run the 100.
I wasn't fast enough.
Right, but you didn't fit the profile. You didn't fit the profile. There's certain guys you can look at and go, oh, that's a 400 runner.
Right.
And Usain Bolt to me looks like a 400 runner, but he's got the gifts to run the 100. But there's certain profile. Russ doesn't fit the profile of a point guard.
Okay, but
he needs to move.
to this point, you became what in the 400?
National champion.
Right.
Right.
They found out they knew there was something special in here. We just need to put it in the right place. Now, I don't believe in taking him off the ball because, as has been mentioned, he already deferred this year. But the things that Russell has, I can't teach, and they are extremely rare. And for somebody to say, I should kick that to the curb or I shouldn't take advantage,
kick it to the curb.
there's a little integer that I need to change here.
You booted it.
Did you watch the last 3 minutes last night?
Yes. And I saw Paul George failing as much as I saw Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
and here's
I saw the defense fail too. In the last 3 minutes too.
And I saw Russell Westbrook. Look, everybody wants to kill him on taking that last shot. I saw him high above the arc, one-on-one, go by his guy, get into the paint, and nobody's coming. He missed a layup, but I'm not going to fault him for driving to the cup and taking a layup. I wish he'd learned to slow down once you get there and make that shot. But the bottom line is, the fact that he took it, I'm not going to kill him for that. That was a better shot than the freaking 37-footer.
And how many
it's
times
just
have we
one guy
killed
made it and the other missed.
in those moments
for not going
doing
to the
that?
basket.
LeBron, go to the hole
basket.
and just make the layup, and we
How
kill
did
him.
LeBron get in this?
I'm just saying, it's
We
no
use
way
it
you
as
can
a
win.
Westbrook
We
is
use it
not
as an
LeBron.
example.
No,
He's
we
not
win.
Michael
We use
Jordan.
the situation
He's
as an
not-
example.
The situation. There's no way you can win.
Because if he'd have taken the jump shot, they'd have been killing him. Why didn't you take it to the hole? So he took it to the hole. Oh, well, he missed the layup. Yeah,
Why are you taking the shot?
Why you take?
Well, because I got all the way to
What?
the rim for a layup.
Jim,
What?
we go to a nightclub tonight.
Which one we going to?
I can't do the same things that you do. I got
No,
to
you
play.
can't.
I got to play a different position. I got to play a different position. And so anybody that would
but-
compare
hold
me
up.
to you
But you
sounds
ain't.
silly. Quit comparing
But the
him
thing
to
is, though,
Michael Jordan
you
and
ain't built
LeBron
like
James.
me, though. but I'm saying, but he's been this way his whole career.
Yeah. And
I've
winning.
been my way my whole career. Don't make it right. Joining the show now is former Pro Bowl defensive back D'Angelo Hall. All right, let's go to the NFL. The draft is a little more than 24 hours away, and one of the top picks is expected to be Ohio State defensive lineman Nick Bosa. The New York Times did a bizarre story on Bosa that wonders if his baggage will bother NFL teams. The badges they refer to are his deleted tweets that praise President Trump, refer to Beyonce's music as trash. The article also compares Bosa's situation to Michael Sam, who came out as gay prior to the 2014 draft, and Laramie Tunstall, who slid several spots in 2016 when video of him smoking marijuana surfaced on draft night. The article brought it full circle with Jameis Winston, a comparison to him, saying, quote, and indeed, teams do have a long history of prizing talent above all else. Jameis Winston was the top overall pick several years ago because of his Heisman Trophy winning abilities, and despite a range of character issues that included a rape accusation, he was not charged after an incomplete investigation. Nick Bosa is being treated unfairly by the media. I saw a piece in USA Today going after him. The dude has the right to think whatever the hell he wants, and certainly to tweet out whatever the hell he wants. And again, the comparisons to Kaepernick, I don't get. If Kaepernick had tweeted out about police brutality and not respecting the flag, if he had tweeted it out, I don't think there would be any controversy. But when you do it on game day, I don't get this.
He is being treated unfairly. Thank God it's not landing. It's not sticking. I don't know if it's just because of the season and we're becoming fatigued with always the lowest of low stories about these high draft prospects, or he just ain't the one. Like, you trying to throw it on him and it just can't stick on Nick Bosa because his life, his surroundings, his peers, everyone's coming to his defense. Even the teams like the San Francisco 49ers, you can hear him talking about, like, he sounds like a great teammate to me. So no real football people are concerned with these stories coming out with Nick Bosa. But I'm with you, Whitlock. Like, I've had teammates before, pre-social media, that we didn't dig that deep into our inner circles. But guess what? You can look at somebody and say, we're different. I had teammates that didn't do the exact same things as I did, and it was a healthy respect, even that distance and the intimacy of when we had to play together. I don't understand where they're trying to take us with Nick Bosa, but thank God it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, what they're trying to do is basically not shed light, but they're trying to show you, hey, this is the side of Nick Bosa that other people probably don't necessarily see. And if it meant nothing, he probably wouldn't have deleted the tweets if he felt like, hey, these tweets don't really mean anything. I think really the issue is what he's, I guess, poking fun at or saying, hey, Beyonce is trash or this or that in his tweets are his opinions. And you're right, he's able to make any opinion he wants to. But when that opinion isn't very popular with the masses, like you can walk down the street and poll 1,000 people and ask them, hey, how was that Black Panther movie? I'm probably sure 80, 90% would say, hey, I loved it, it was great. Hey, how's Beyonce as an artist? I'm sure 95% would say,
a little lower.
Oh, she's great.
A little lower, Rihanna.
I'm
just letting you know.
It's low-hanging fruit, in my opinion. They're just trying to grab at anything. And some of this stuff does kind of raise some flags, but it doesn't raise flags to drop his value. It raised flags for the simple fact, like you said, hey, this might not be a guy that I'm going to hang out with in the locker room, but it doesn't question his ability to play football on the field. That's why I don't think teams are really as hung up about it. Because
D'Angelo, only thing I would say is there was a lot of guys on my college football team who love country music. They went to country music concert. I had no interest. Love some rock and roll stuff. I had no interest. I'm someone, I think the television show Breaking Bad, the last 3 seasons, complete, utter trash. Most everybody disagrees with me.
Not me.
But you don't have to jump to some horrible conclusion because you don't like what's popular. Again, when I hear, what most people think or whatever, and the way this country is going, most people don't like Christian behavior, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
And that's why people shy away from talking about their Christian beliefs because there's so much backlash to it. So, again, I see somebody that the media seems to be trying to silence and send a message out to everybody else. Don't be like Nick Bosa or we'll trash you and make you very uncomfortable. That's what I just don't think it's fair or right because eventually it's going to be used against us.
Yeah, no, it's going to absolutely be used against us. And it is, I don't think it merits anything. But at the same time, I see where they're going with it. You say the Kaepernick situation is a lot different because he actually went in there and he took a knee, right?
In uniform, on the job.
Okay. Even prior to that, the discussions that were taking place about social injustice, just sparking that conversation that I think a lot of people didn't want to talk about, I think led to all the other things. And so to me, it's viewed very differently when a black athlete does something versus, I think, a white athlete. And in this situation, had a black athlete went out and said, A Star Is Born, that movie, everyone said it was great. If someone would have went out and said, man, it was trash, I hated it. You don't think that big time athlete would have caught any backlash?
Well, there's two things here. I would say this, D'Angelo. To defend someone who deletes tweets, especially in a professional atmosphere, I actually applaud someone like that. Why make resistance for yourself? Why create more? There's two reasons why you delete it. One, I don't need this obstacle. It's not linked to me to that correlation where I need to just stand by this and plant my flag. Two, you delete tweets because every time someone talks about that tweet, likes it, retweets it, guess what it does to your timeline? Comes right back to you. So there's a time where you're just like, I'm tired of talking about this and y'all still own it. So you delete it. I'm respecting someone who does that, who knows that I have a professional, mature, adult way of looking at life going forward than some stuff that I disagree with. I get it. I don't like a lot of things that are deemed white culture. I don't like Game of Thrones. I don't like Breaking Bad. I don't like a lot of country artists. And if you don't like rap artists, I do not start looking at you as a racist. I'm just like, you don't like rap. I move forward. That's it.
I agree with you. I've never deleted a tweet in my life. If I say it, then I mean it and I'm sticking to it. But for him, like I said, his brother went through this process a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And so for him to not have the self-awareness to know, even in the midst of making these tweets,
he's 19, 20 years old at the time. They're old tweets, and he had no idea. He's going to San Francisco, the woke capital of America. And so if he doesn't delete those tweets, if he does, he's like, I'm not gonna talk about my public political opinions. I'm going to San Francisco. I gotta be aware of my surroundings. Just wouldn't play there. D'Angelo Hall and Jim Jackson are back. Marcellus, it's time for our favorite segment, Antisocial.
all right?
Darnell Smith, our social media manager. What's popping on the Twitter streets, Darnell?
Everything.
It's Dame time. Let's talk about Damian Lillard, who hit a 37-foot cold-blooded shot at the buzzer last night to close out the series and send OKC home. You know Twitter was loving all the pettiness. First, Dame waved bye-bye to the Thunder after sinking the shot. Then Dame's mom posed next to this fans poster of baby Westbrook in the Blazer locker room. Nurkic was rocking a Westbrook-inspired "Got Bricks." Next question. Shirt. And then after the game, Paul George was a little salty about the loss, calling Dame's game winner a bad shot.
True.
But Dame got the last laugh when he responded with the simple LOL. And then this morning, Dame twisted the knife with this Instagram post that y'all talked about earlier, calling out Westbrook as a hothead. We got some good stuff here, but which troll y'all was your favorite?
You ain't even got my favorite.
Which one? Oh, no, this one.
That
look that's the one.
Boy, that's the best one. When everybody acting a donkey and you like already know. Oh, that's the best one, but y'all vote
for me,
vote for second.
I like it. Dame Lillard's little Instagram post, Art of War.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's highbrow.
Yeah, I'm actually
that's cold-blooded.
Could have done
right
smoke
now,
detector
so.
on that.
That's the least of our.
Good point. We should have. Which one you got, Dan?
I mean, I like the Art of War one too. I'm reading Sun Tzu's book now, so that definitely resonated with me.
What you going through in your life? What you
What you
gonna do?
Warrior, man.
Whitlock, well, look out. He gonna take over this show.
No.
What you playing?
D'Angelo wants to be an NFL head coach, man. He's in the lab, man.
You know that?
D'Angelo's in the
Yeah,
lab.
he getting all the psychological sides of how to
Okay,
motivate
D-Lo.
his player.
Okay.
Got you.
Gonna have the defense looking good.
D'Angelo, man, I'm just telling you, sir, the tats fool people, man. D'Angelo's deep, man. The tats kind
Is
of
it just the
people.
tats?
I
Yeah, he gonna be a good coach. Boy. He gonna be active at the players.
All right, Darnell, what's next?
Yeah, let's get to the NFL, where Whitlock's favorite player, Ben Roethlisberger, must be all smiles right now. The reports came out earlier today that the Steelers signed him to a 2-year contract extension worth $63 million. It's assumed now that most likely Big Ben will end his career in Pittsburgh.
You think?
Steeler fans online were pumped about the decision to keep their guy in Pittsburgh. But guys, with all the controversy coming from Big Ben last season, was this a smart move by the Steelers?
Hell yeah. What? Everybody, Le'Veon left and AB left. But
Gotta
can't
keep
let
somebody.
Ben leave.
And you never really developed a backup quarterback, which, you know,
Right.
and again, I'm
Yeah.
a huge Steelers fan. So all these years, I'm sitting there like, if Ben goes down, really goes down, we're stuck because we never developed a backup quarterback. So you got Ben another 2 years. Good. I ain't gonna, well.
Yeah.
I was about to say something.
Ben got something to do with y'all ain't got no backup quarterback. You like, ain't tutoring this dude.
All day long.
Great contract, smart move. A lot of pressure on Ben this year. He'll live up to it. He's a baller. I mean, say what you want about him. He's a baller. But God, y'all, we got to start adding up Ben Roethlisberger because Peyton and Eli are 1 and 2 in money earned in NFL.
Right.
Ben has to now go past them boys.
Ben up there too. I mean,
Yeah.
I like it. I like it because it shows. Look, Ben is the future. Not, I wouldn't say the future, but for the next couple years, Ben is the guy. They got rid of AB. Le'Veon's out of there. Juju's gonna have to show that he can do it by himself. They're gonna have to bring some more help in there. But you lock up Ben, I love it.
They have clarity in terms of
Yes.
leadership.
Yeah,
Yes.
they do.
Tomlin
It is
and
him.
Ben,
Yep.
no questions asked. All right, Darnell, time for your question of the day. Take it away.
All right, so this question actually came from my homeboy, Julian Jackson. Shout out to Jew Jack.
Uh-oh.
And
This is the second time, man.
second time, man. He love the show.
You trying to get on.
Right. But all right, so Whitlock, we know you're originally from Indianapolis,
Yeah.
moved to KC, and now you're out here. Obviously, I moved from Indianapolis to LA as well. So my question is, what advice would you give someone about leaving their comfort zone to pursue their careers?
I think it's necessary if you want to reach your highest level. Too many young people, where can I get a job at home? So now you're limiting yourself on just what your hometown has to offer. If you really want to move up, I went from Bloomington, Indiana to Charlotte, North Carolina to Ann Arbor, Michigan to Kansas City to LA. You gotta be willing to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, that was the mindset in part why I went to Columbia all the way across the country, just to leave the nest, man. I wanted to see a different way up that mountain. And being in LA, you always heard about New York, so that was an attraction for me. I will say, leaving your comfort zone is an essential part of learning yourself in terms of success and even the failures, because you're gonna miss home, you're gonna miss what you're used to and learn new good habits. That said, don't leave your lanes of passion. Like, wherever you get out your comfort zone, stay in your lanes of passion, because you can materialize and monetize them by the things you love.
I always tell young people, while you're young, go travel, go try to figure it out, because you have time to do these things, because that's when you grow as a young person.
Right.
You can't be stuck. Growing up in Toledo, Ohio, a lot of people just get stuck working in the factory. I got insurance, I can do this. But when you're young, it's a time to really go out and explore, to figure out what the world is, who you are. And I tell you, being on 12 teams, it got me out of my comfort zone. It made me look at things totally different that built me for what I'm doing today. If I didn't go through it, I'd probably be a different person.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I encourage every kid to go to college, because college is somewhat getting you out of that comfort zone of your hometown where you've been at, where you're comfortable at, and it makes you learn different people and interact with different people and learn different things. And so, man, you have to do it in order to grow and be the kind of person you want to be. You just got to keep striving and keep fighting.
You'd be a good college coach, too. You could get somebody to come to your school.
I'm telling you, heck of a recruiter. He'd be a heck of a recruiter.
Hell yeah.
You might have to cut the beard.
D'Angelo's gonna be
I'm going to definitely cut the beard, man.
come
I walk
clean
into my
face,
house and
Doug, you
scare
know.
him, man.
I'm going to be like, get out of my house, boy. Take my son nowhere with you. All right.
D'Angelo Hall is back with us. Let's return to the NFL draft, where Kyler Murray is expected to be the top pick in tomorrow's in Nashville. If Murray goes number 1 to the Cardinals, a former agent says Arizona would be crazy not to include a no baseball clause in his contract. The agent points out that Murray has already changed his mind once, turning his back on the Oakland A's, who took him in the first round of the baseball draft last year. Question is here, would you have a problem if the Cardinals required a no baseball clause?
Absolutely. The Cardinals, who don't know the definition.
Have a problem with it.
A problem, absolutely. They don't know what commitment means. They don't know. First of all, define what commitment means when you fire your coach after 1 year, Mr. Steve Wilkes. Tell me what commitment means when you're all in my DMs if I'm Kyler Murray and you still got Josh Rosen on the roster and potentially may get rid of him after 1 year. But you want me to commit to this organization when I don't see you guys ever showing that example of commitment. So, look, don't even come at me that way. I'm going to say it, and you're going to say it, and we're going to live this through. But commitment, Arizona hasn't shown they know that way.
I don't have a problem with it for the simple fact, if I'm running this team, I think you have to protect yourself. You have to try to put some buffers in place to say, hey, look, times are going to get tough on this football field. You might not instantly have success. I don't want the first time that you get knocked around or you feel as though, man, I can't do this, to feel like you have an out. And that's what this baseball clause means. It means he has an out. And we don't want him to have an out. We want him to keep with this, stick with this. We're showing our commitment in him by drafting him. So that's a 4 or 5 year deal. We're on the hook for 5 years. We want this guy with us 5 years.
I like D'Angelo's point in terms of when they say, hey, last year we took a guy at number 10, and this year we're going to spend our first overall pick in the draft on you, that is like till death do us part. Because if Kyler Murray doesn't work out, Steve Keim, the general manager, and Cliff Kingsbury are going to die.
Part of that, yeah. But then that's when I give them a history lesson in terms of this commitment, because I have options that I can't be committed. And I bring up your favorite player and one of my favorite players, John Elway, who it's amazing we forget 1983 draft. John Elway not only could have played the game of baseball, but actually went out there and played the game of baseball, went to summer camp, with spring training with the New York Yankees, was on the roster. Steinbrenner brought him in and showed him his name was on the roster. Took $150,000, was on the field with the Yankees. And did Elway ever look back? Did Elway ever say, you know what? I'm going to balk at my opportunity of playing in the NFL? Became one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. If I'm Kyler Murray, I'm saying, take a history lesson. Since I have options doesn't mean I don't have loyalty or I don't have commitment to your franchise.
All right. There are on-field concerns for Kyler Murray as well. A couple of anonymous coaches had this to say about the Heisman Trophy winner. Quote, Kyler, I don't think he's a big film football guy. He's just like, hey, I'll do what the coaches say, and I'll go make plays. Also, someone said this, I'd be scared to death to take him. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. He does not like the process of Monday to Saturday. He loves Sundays, or in this case, Saturdays. The reason why I think there's a tiny bit of legitimacy to this, I was reading up on some background on Kyler Murray. I think his dad is his coach to this day. I think if you go back to his Pee Wee football, they had a handbook, a playbook that they wouldn't even share with the head coach of the Pee Wee football team. They had hand signals worked out between the dad and the quarterback, and I think that's where Kyler's loyalty in terms of preparation for football is to his dad more than the organization, and that concerns people.
Well, from a guy who played Pee Wee football, I wish I had a handbook with my daddy. We ran 2 damn plays. I mean, we didn't do a thing out there. I mean, I respect that. But to the greater point, this is just pre-draft mode where once again, we're going to poke at him and see what lives, what survives. When you get to the NFL, I don't care how much film you watch. I don't care how genius you feel in terms of your evaluation of the game. You're going to learn from those guys on that team how to look at film, how to break down every element, and learn it with a different exposure. So if he doesn't come in with the best habits, he's going to learn better habits. If he came in with great habits, he's going to learn greater habits. As long as you tell me that the guy is coachable and the guy has a work ethic, which winning the Heisman usually is an essential ingredient. You got to have those things. I'm fine with him. He'll learn this from the vets on the squad.
See, college football to me is such a different beast than the National Football League. College football, you're juggling a wide range of things, and you're still considered a student athlete. When you become a pro football player, now that's your profession.
Yeah.
So all the free time that you normally have, that you would go hang out or do this or do that, you have to now start to rank importance some of those things. Like, is it more important to go hang out with your friends, or is it more important to spend a couple more hours or another 30, 40 minutes watching film of this, of that? Now, film doesn't make you a automatic genius or a star. Film just helps you kind of see a little bit, kind of preview what you're going to see.
Right.
I always tell kids, if you're working in a game, then you didn't practice hard enough. The game should be the easy part, should be fun. And practice is where you should be trying different things out and really grinding to the point that you're exhausted coming off that practice field because you've done everything it took to prepare yourself. It's the same way in the film room. And so for me, it does raise red flags. If I don't feel like this kid likes the process of being a quarterback, which is nowadays, it's in that film room.
Oh, yeah, you got to live in it.
It's in that film room. It's understanding what your offense is doing, what they're requiring you to do. It's also understanding what defenses are going to try to do to you. He's not going to face the kind of defenses he faced in college in the National Football League. Money back guarantee on that. And so for me, it raises red flags, but I do too think with that this kid, like you said, he didn't win a Heisman Trophy by accident. He knows what it takes. And so to hear some of this, I do feel like, it's just pre-draft talk.
Whitlock and Wiley, joined by Jim Jackson and Rick Bucher. It's time for That Dude's Dudes. Marcellus, what you got?
Biggest backcourt in the game, huh? We going fishing, though. We ain't got no more games. Our team ain't that good. But let's go with our number 3, that dude of the week, Kyrie Irving, Dirty Dancing, Indiana Nights. I had the time of my life. Look at it. Yeah! All that magician out there. Look at these crayons on the court. Look at this movement. Oh, you better look out that is, Young. Going to hit you with that jumper. With the handles first, dances, step back. You gonna dance with me? Let's talk about it. Oh, you wanna go to prom? You wanna go to dance with me? He don't wanna answer that, but I saw that. I saw that note get passed in class. Yes, yes. Now let's go here. Oh my God. Caught off balance in this moment, looking, but ain't moving. And then you try to raise, elevate. Ooh, feeling like Paul George. Look at the crowd. Everybody's happy. Oh, don't take that picture ever again. And that's the prom king right there, Kyrie Irving. Number 3, that dude of the week. Let's go to number 2. Pacers, Myles Turner. Who's your daddy? Y'all caught that? Who's your daddy? Yeah. Staying in Whitlock's home city, Indianapolis. Myles Turner throws it down.
Yes, he does.
Gordon Hayward. Damn, he fouled the rim. What the hell is that? Hayward, ooh, also from Indianapolis, and thought his homecoming would be fun. Got caught slipping right there. Maybe a little home-cooked meal when you come home, thinking about that, sleeping in his old bedroom, catching up with old friends. That's what you do when you go back to Indianapolis, right? Absolutely. You don't get dunked on, do you? Yes, you do.
Marcellus, that was a bad business decision right there. That was a bad business decision.
Hey, for real, Myles Turner, this is not your home anymore, big dog. Look how high he rises over him. Gordon Hayward got a poster of it in his own room while he was healing. Oh, my God. Turner looking around like, did y'all see that? Yeah, we did. You number 2, that dude of the week, big dog. And let's go to number 1. We already know what it is. Ooh, Dame Dollar right here. Logo
clean.
Lillard right here.
Casket clean.
Up to Portland. Who else? Tied 115. Oh, clock ticking down, building the drama. Let's do what we do. I'm going to go out here. Oh, my goodness. 37 feet of greatness right there. Oh, y'all think this is the first time Dame Dillard done this?
There it goes. There it goes, Marcellus.
In case you forgot. Here go that flashback. Oh, my God. 2014 hit a 3 to eliminate the Rockets in Game 6. Whew, my goodness. Now, let's go back to last night so I get hype again. Come on. Lillard shaking PG-13. Drain that game winner 50th point right there. It's the reason why they call him Logo Lillard. That's where I practice from. Don't think this is a Hail Mary. That was a set shot for Lillard. Bye-bye. You know he wanted to say it to Westbrook, but he said to all y'all, bye-bye. Look at that money go in the rim. Dang, Dillard, be nice to him, man. You know who you are. Our number one, that dude of the week. Hit him.
That was awesome. Lillard and the Blazers now await the winner of the Spurs-Nuggets series. All right, let's shift gears to right here in Los Angeles. There are reports that the Lakers interviewed Jason Kidd for their head coaching vacancy this week. General Manager Rob Pelinka conducted the interview with advisor Kurt Rambis. Our very own Rick Bucher said on Undisputed this morning that Kurt and his wife Linda are heavily involved in the decision-making along with owner Jeannie Buss.
There it is.
You know, I'm going to just throw this out there for y'all to fight over.
Me too.
You want no part of this, right?
Can Jeannie Buss fix this mess?
I'm going to say this. The best indicator of future behavior is past behavior. So that answer is no. We don't trust in Jeannie in terms of this changing. The biggest brand in the sport is treated like a mom and pop shop in terms of, are you a former Laker? Yeah. Well, if you had success at the role, forget all that. You're a former Laker. Let's just move forward. Coach Rambis was a failing coach. Executive Rambis never existed. So I don't understand the criteria to why you're in this position other than some more of the Lakers nepotism. Fine with that. But do you trust that it's going to change and materialize to winning culture and winning success for this team? Sorry, no.
Jeannie Buss has been a tremendous success on the business side when it comes to the Lakers. I am hoping that she is going to delegate to people who know the basketball side. She has said and admitted, this isn't my forum. This is not what I do well. And I'm going to leave it there. As you said, Kurt Rambis has no track record. I don't know anything about Linda Rambis, but I didn't see any other team around the league looking to hire her in order to run their organization. So I don't know. Does Jeannie Buss know success? Yes. She was around her dad. She's been in the business since she was 18 years old. I'd like to believe that somewhere along the line she learned how this worked. So the jury is out for me. I am not going to say definitively she can't get it done, but it's going to be all about the people that she hires.
Yes. And it goes back to your point, past experiences or failures. When Jerry passed away, Jim took over, wanted to completely go against the grain and do something totally different. Look at the hires. Mike Brown was totally different. Okay, Mike D'Antoni was different. You had a chance to bring Phil back. They didn't want any part. They wanted to divorce themselves from what their father did to what they wanted to do with their legacy. So that brings me a little pause. Their next move, the president, coach, is going to indicate a lot on where this franchise is going. To me, I trust, like you said, on the business side, it's totally different running the business side of the Lakers. But when organization, when you need the right people that are going to bring the right components for a team together, to me, that's important. So who they hire next is going to indicate where they trend off to in the next 5 to 10
But
years.
why does it even have to be a next? Like, trust is earned, not given. So if we keep saying next, and we've been saying next
because
year,
Jeannie,
what has she done to earn it?
Jeannie, to my point, Mitch Kupchak was there for a while.
Yeah.
So he made decisions. But Jim, again, took over and made a lot of those personnel decisions. To me, who they put in there next is
losing effort, though. They haven't made the playoffs now 6 consecutive years, which maps and correlates exactly when they took over the franchise. So if trust is earned, we trust in Jeannie. Where?
Well, her dad trusted her and wants his kids, so she has the position, and I think she has a right to have the position, just like her brother did.
Oh, yeah.
And so what I see here, to be quite honest with you, I think this story coming out, and I'm not casting aspersions on you, Rick, at all, but to me, if I'm Kobe Bryant and Rob Pelinka, and I don't think I have as much control as I should have, I put out a story that, you know, it's Linda and Kurt Rambis that are really running this thing. And it's pushed back because Jeannie Buss wants to run this deal. This is like when they remade Ocean's 11 with women. That's what's going on with the Lakers. Jeannie Buss feels like it's her time to actually make some decisions on the basketball side, and her and Linda Rambis are going to do it. It may not work, but in their mind, I've seen a bunch of dudes fail at this as well.
Okay.
Why can't I have the opportunity to? I've earned it. Uncle Jimmy's here. Got any early thoughts on the show so far?
Most definitely. And I want to hurry up and get this one here out. Let me give this big dummy of the day to the person that just stood up here and said that they didn't like Beyonce's music. And you about to have the beehive all over you, bro. And Uncle Jimmy don't want no parts of it.
I got you. When did I say that?
I said it, but keep it on Whitlock. I don't need no
You
beehive.
sided with the man that said he didn't like Beyonce's
I said I had no
music.
problem with it.
And y'all heard it. It wasn't Uncle Jimmy. It wasn't Marcellus.
No, it wasn't
Get him,
me.
beehive.
They gonna blame.
What Rihanna
I
got?
said I don't like Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
got no
yeah.
problem with Beyonce. She ain't Adele.
You gonna
but I
take
got
that
no
heat.
problem with
Take that
Beyonce.
heat.
They gonna be all on him.
Wasn't me, B.
All right,
Wasn't me.
here's a highlight from our discussion earlier about Dame Lillard and his tremendous performance. Watching Damian Lillard vanquish the triple-double king, Russell Westbrook, was the most satisfying bit of television I've watched since Olena Tyrell poisoned King Joffrey.
Last night gave us a moment, gave us an event that says, you know what? Access granted. Lift the ropes up. Dame Dollar's now at that table with the elite ones.
All right, Uncle Jimmy, I know you had to enjoy my analogy of Dame Lillard to Game of Thrones, Russell Westbrook, King Joffrey. Anyway, what's your take?
First of all, you got this all wrong. This ain't about the bad guy and all of that. This ain't about the Game of Thrones and King Joffrey getting killed. This is 100% straight, no lace, no chase. The Django Unchained. The new version. Except what we gonna call it Dango Unchained. You understand what I'm saying?
I want to. Let's go.
I like the name Dame Go.
Yeah, that's hot.
Explain that to me.
Man.
All right, first of all, you know, without Damian Lillard is Jamie and Foxx. You know, that's Dame Go. Okay, remember the final scene? Yeah. Remember the final scene of Django, remember? When he came in and killed everybody in the movie?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Remember? Rootin', tootin', shooting, fastest gun in the West? Killed everybody.
Yeah.
That's the last Dango. Paul George, that was Miss Laura.
Who was Miss Laura? Hold up.
She took an L.
Who was Miss Laura?
That was that old white lady that got shot right when he came down the steps.
No, I do.
Wait a minute. Remember Dango said, y'all say good night to Miss Laura. Hey, goodbye, Miss Laura. Bang! You just saw her feet. Hey, that was when Dame shot that three-pointer on him. Shing! Shot Miss Laura. Bam! That was Paul George.
Got you.
Okay.
All right.
You with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, you still?
Okay.
We still here.
What else?
Okay, then at the very end, at the very end, it was just Dango and Russell Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Russell Westbrook, that's Steven. Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay, now see, here's what y'all didn't know. See, now understand this. It was hard for us to forgive Samuel for that role of Steven. We ain't never forgave him. And right now, we ain't never gonna forgive Russell Westbrook. Okay? See, y'all don't realize, y'all don't understand what happened. See, Stephen was a little bit upset because James Harden had ran off the plantation and left him. Then Kevin Durant ran off the plantation and left him. And he just had an attitude. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and so then therefore now that just, now that's why Russell got this attitude. So therefore it's just him, it's just Russ, and Dango. And Dango shot that three-pointer on him. See, hold it. I'm sorry, y'all. Listen. Hey, I give Russ credit. He talked stuff to the end. He said, I ain't count but 47 points. Hey, Dame looked at him and said, I count 3 more. Suck out. Night. Hey, that was the shot where he hit Steven in the leg. Bam! Ow! Dango! Damn you, Dango! Ow! Sweet black baby Jesus, let me kill Dango! You ain't gonna get away with this, Dango! Golden State gonna get your ass! You act like I ain't still got KD's number! You keep messing with me! It ain't no game!
Man.
Dango!
That's
Hate
pretty
your
good.
ass!
That's pretty good.
Man, those some parallels. I mean, he put
work.
that together.
Some of your best work.
Wait, wait a minute.
You ain't do nothing
Now,
last night.
wait.
Huh?
Now, you know what Dame doing. You know where he slept at last night.
Everywhere.
Slept in the big house. On the good sheets. Eating the white cake.
All right,
That's why Steven's upset.
I gotta get to my
Thousand count sheets.
approval rating.
Red.
I got Dame at a 78, not quite a GOAT. 24 in job performance. Stockton before it was a bad shot. But 78 overall.
Yeah, I got him at 79, the best 79 ever give. Let me say, first team All-NBA, 23 job performance. Easy Hall of Famer in the easy Hall of Fame. I mean, everybody in the NBA gets a Hall of Famer. But he did violate the player's code. He asked to be an all-star. I had to drop him in character a little bit. And call out Westbrook by name, damn it.